You will never be king as long as I live because we're both princes, you're not above me.
The Throne of Blood, Part 5. In Apopo, death no longer announced itself. It simply arrived. 6 times the throne had been claimed. 6 times blood had answered. And now, as the land prepared itself for yet another burial, the people already mourned a man still breathing. For in Apopo, once a man declared his intention to sit on the throne, he was no longer counted among the living. So when Zaza of Apopo made his intention known, the villagers did not argue. They lowered their voices. They avoided his path. They spoke of him in the past tense. Another son of Apopo is lost. May the ancestors receive him. Because whenever a king was chosen, he surely died. From the day Zaza spoke his desire aloud, many had already wrapped his spirit in burial cloth. Yet Zaza did not beg. He did not rush the throne. Instead, he stood before elders and villagers alike and declared, I will return after 21 days. Then, I will claim the crown. That night, he left Apopo. The journey of 21 days. Zaza journeyed not for rest, not for shelter, but for dominion. Through forests where trees twisted like listening spirits. Through lands where even animals avoided eye contact. Across swamps that swallowed sound itself. Toward waters older than kings. He was not seeking protection. He was seeking power so deep that death itself would hesitate. First encounter, the dreaded forest spiritualist. As Zaza journeyed through the forest, the air thickened. The birds went silent. Then he saw him. A man seated before a shrine of bones and roots. The dreaded forest spiritualist. His eyes glowing like white ash lit from within. Before Zaza spoke, the spiritualist smiled. I know why you are here, he said. Zaza said nothing. The spiritualist continued. You seek the throne that drinks blood. You seek to stand where kings fall. Zaza finally spoke. I seek to be king, he said. A king death cannot take untimely. The spiritualist laughed softly. The throne kills because a life was stolen improperly, he said. But I can blind it to you, for a time. They spoke long into the night. Of curses. Of blood debts. Of kings who ruled briefly and screamed loudly. At dawn, the spiritualist handed Zaza a charm made of bone, bark, and red thread. This will hide you from the throne's hunger, he warned. Zaza bowed. And as the spiritualist turned back to his shrine, Zaza struck. The forest did not protest. Zaza walked away. Second encounter, the witch doctor of the swamp. Zaza did not return home. He pushed deeper, until dry land became memory. In the heart of the swamp, he found the witch doctor, smeared in black clay, surrounded by skulls half sunk in mud. The witch doctor stared at him. You carry death with you, he said. Zaza replied calmly. I seek to become the strongest king on earth. One death cannot take untimely. The witch doctor studied him, then nodded. Power is borrowed, he said. But it always demands interest. He handed Zaza a pouch filled with powdered skull. Burn this during war. Sprinkle it where enemies walk. It will bend death's path. Zaza listened carefully. When the witch doctor finished explaining, Zaza thanked him. The swamp closed over the witch doctor before the sun rose. Third encounter, the goddess of the river. One would think Zaza was satisfied. But no. He continued. At the river's edge, under moonlight, Zaza brought out a white chicken, still alive. He chanted incantations learned from no living mouth. Then he threw the chicken into the river. The water stirred. The river goddess emerged, her voice soft, dangerous, ancient. Why do you disturb me, son of dust? Zaza bowed. I seek to be the most feared king on earth, he said. One death cannot take easily. The river goddess studied him. Blood created this curse, she said. Blood must answer it. She gave him a vial, river water mixed with blood. Zaza pretended gratitude. He turned as though to leave. Then he struck. The river swallowed her scream. Fourth encounter, the prophet of fire. The next prophet slept beside fire. He spoke as flames danced. Kings die because the throne remembers betrayal. Zaza listened. The prophet gave him ashes sealed in leather. Zaza left. The fire went out forever. Fifth encounter, the prophetess of dreams. She spoke slowly. A boy died without a crown. Yet the crown still waits for him. She offered knowledge. Zaza offered silence. She never woke. Throne of Blood, Part 6. The Weight of Power. After Zaza the Great left the abode of the prophetess of dreams, her blood still warm upon the earth, he did not look back. Just as he had done to the forest spiritualist, the swamp witch, the river goddess, and the prophets before her, he silenced her forever. The night swallowed her screams, and the spirits watched in uneasy silence. One would think a man who had gathered such power, a man whose hands now reeked of ancestral blood and forbidden fire, would be satisfied. One would think he would turn his face homeward toward Opopo, toward the throne that had swallowed kings like offerings. But Zaza was not like other men. There is a parable the elders used to whisper. The man who drinks salt water to quench his thirst will only crave more. So it was with Zaza. Power had not filled him, it had opened a deeper hunger. And so he journeyed on. If there is more power anywhere around Opopo, he said to himself as he walked beneath a bleeding sky, I, Zaza, will claim it all. That throne shall be mine, and my descendants shall inherit it, even if the earth itself must bleed. Days later, the forest turned into a place where light itself seemed afraid to enter. Shadows clung to the ground like living things. This was the shrine of shadows, where voices echoed without mouths and footsteps followed nobody. As Zaza stepped forward, a staff struck the ground. Hold it there. The priest emerged slowly, his face hidden beneath layers of ash and dark cloth. His voice was sharp, ancient, and knowing. O you who seek a throne spoken of in blood, the priest hissed. Your hands already smell of death. Blood of great ancestral powers. Blood mixed with fire. Zaza said nothing. The throne you seek, the priest continued, circling him, was taken in blood, and so the throne now demands blood in return. Still, Zaza did not argue. He lifted his chin and spoke boldly. I seek to sit on that throne as king. Not just a king, but one whose power will be spoken of for generations yet unborn. The priest laughed. A dry, echoing laugh that seemed to come from the shadows themselves. What you seek is not easy to get. Then he raised his staff high and began to chant. Darkness poured into Zaza like smoke into lungs. His veins burned. His bones trembled. Power wrapped itself around his spirit like chains made of fire. When it was done, Zaza bowed low, murmuring gratitude. Then, as the priest turned his back, Zaza struck. The staff fell. The shrine went silent. Another power taken. Another life erased. Zaza did not stop. He climbed mountains where no birds flew. He walked through nights that never fully became day. He climbed until the earth thinned and the wind tasted old. At the edge of the world, he stood before the greatest spiritualist that had ever lived. This one did not hide. He did not threaten. He did not panic. They called him Obenhyum, the witness of forgotten blood. His eyes were calm. Too calm. Before Zaza could speak, Obenhyum began. The young prince of Opopo did not die by fate, he said quietly. He was buried alive. The wind stopped. 7 elders, Obenhyum continued, feared a boy's innocence more than they feared the gods. They buried him in shallow earth and returned pretending to search for him. Zazor's fist clenched. When the child realized death had come for him unjustly, the old one said, "He cursed them. He cursed the throne. He cursed the land." Obankum's voice deepened. "As I die at 21, the prince had sworn, so shall any man who sits upon my father's throne die within 21 days, until I am reborn or appeased." Silence followed. Zazor finally spoke, his voice low. "So all this happened in Opopo, and no one confessed. The elders who committed this evil still walk freely." "They live," Obankum replied. "And their silence feeds them." Zazor stepped forward. "Tell me what must be done. What can I do to sit on that throne and live?" Obankum was silent for a long moment. Then he spoke the words that shattered the night. 3 children must be sacrificed. On the same grave where the prince was buried." Zazor staggered. "One older than 21, Obankum continued. "One exactly 21. One younger than 21. Zazor shook his head. "And the sacrifice must be of blood," the old one said. "Your blood. Your children. Your siblings. No blood will be accepted." Zazor's voice broke. "But I have only 2 sons, and 1 brother. They are all I have. I am already deep in my 40s. They are my hope. My lineage." He paused, despair heavy in his chest. "If I make this sacrifice and have no heir," he whispered, "what gain is the throne to me?" Obankum laughed, slow and deep. "There is another parable," he said. "The man who wants the mountain must first bury his shadow beneath it." He leaned closer. "To everything great," he said, "there is always a greater price to pay. This is the only way, Zazor. The only way to become king of Opopo." Zazor stood frozen at the edge of the world. Power in his body. Blood on his soul. And an impossible choice before him. To be continued.